Hey guys, this is Alessio Summerfield, the host of Metal Gear Mondays, and you are listening to a backlog episode of Metal Gear Monday. So if you guys hear any mention of Geek Time, the Geek Time network is since defunct, and now Metal Gear Mondays is a part of the original lineup of podcast shows from Forever and Astronaut. If you guys want to take advantage of our Patreon to get really cool exclusive content and speak with other fans, as well as talk directly to the hosts and the guests, you can go to patreon.com/foreveranastronaut. $5 a month on Patreon will get you access to all of our original shows, including Dev Diary Season 1 and future shows. So if you want to support the studio and support content like what you're listening to, please be sure to go to patreon.com/foreveranastronaut or foreveranastronaut.com to check out the rest of our lineup of shows, as well as short films, blog posts, and other goodies. If you want to write into the show, the new write-in information is contact@foreveranastronaut.com, or you can utilize the facebook.com/Metal Gear Mondays. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy the episode. This week on Metal Gear Mondays, we're all dropping acid. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Metal Gear Mondays. I'm your host, Alessio Summerfield, and this week I'm joined by Samuel Wright.
Nobody played Metal Gear Acid.
I know.
I'm sorry, I'm just spitting truth.
It's true. And for the uninitiated, this is the podcast where we play through all of the Metal Gear Solid games from start to finish, top to bottom, left to right, or right to left if you're Japanese. In book club style fashion, and talk about what it was like to play the games. Sam and I have played them before, and Isaac has not, and is also not on this episode. So
Yeah, because fuck them.
Yeah, Isaac has been replaced by Sam, who has not played this one. So.
Yeah, I'm the newbie here.
Yeah, and to be completely transparent, I played through about 80% of the game and tried my damnedest to get to the end, and did not have enough time this week to finish. So, that being said, I did sink like 20 hours into a game specifically for this show, so that feels like a feat in and of itself. Yeah. So anyway, if you have not picked up on it yet, this week we are talking about Metal Gear Acid, the turn-based card game collectible stealth tactical RPG handheld entry in the Metal Gear series. It's really weird.
It's the most bizarre thing. So I know a little bit about Acid. I remember I've never been good at strategy games. I'm good at the Final Fantasy Tactics games for some reason, and then inexplicably Advance Wars Dual Strike, but none of the other Advance Wars.
That is like very odd, I think.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it how it is. But
well, likewise, I'm absolute garbage at tactical strategy games. I like them in theory, but every time I sit down and try to play one, I get about like a quarter of the way in, and then I realize I'm really fucking bad at this. I probably shouldn't continue to try to play this game. So
I'm good at Final Fantasy Tactics because the first Final Fantasy Tactics was like the only game I played for a solid, I want to say, year.
Wow.
When I was younger. Was
that back in the day of getting a game for a year and having to suffer until you got another one?
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like I played a lot of games, including Vigilante 8 and similar games, because I got duped into buying it and then had to wait like 8 months to buy another game.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, just to give some background info for the uninitiated, Konami Computer Entertainment Japan was the developer, Konami was the publisher. The director of Metal Gear Acid is not Hideo Kojima, and I think that other than Ghost Babel, this might be the first time we've covered a non-Kojima directed Metal Gear for the show.
No place for Hideo.
Nope, but there is place for Shinta Nojiri. And Kojima was a producer on the game, as was Masahiro Hinamai. And then the designer is also Shinta Nojiri, and it was written by not Kojima. It was written by Moku Tochibori, Shoyu Murata, and Tomokazu Fukushima. And it released on the PlayStation Portable as a launch title. It released in North America March 22nd, 2005, and the European version came out September 1st, 2005.
Oh, so it was a launch title in Japan.
Yeah, and it was launched title in Japan in December 16th, 2004, under the name Meterugia Ashido. I just really wanted to save that for the end.
I love it. Was before we recorded. He says, "I love that in Japanese it's Meterugiru," and I was like, "So you mean like the way that we say every Japanese phrase that we say on the show?" Let's get real here for a second, people. This is normal.
I love, for whatever reason, whenever I speak Italian or say a Japanese word, I go into like TV announcer voice, and so it's not Metal Gear, it's Meterugia.
Like deep.
Yeah, it just gets real.
Oh, Meterugia.
Wataniba. I can't even do it. Anyway, Daijo Vakai. We're going to be talking about Metal Gear Acid. But yeah, so it's Metal Gear. Metal Gear Acid.
Are you trying to like incorporate the exclamation mark in there?
Yeah, for some reason
like,
it's Metal Gear AC exclamation D.
Yeah, because when you look it up on the internet, it's just the word acid, but they replace the I with the exclamation mark in the box, in like the box art name.
Yeah, which makes it very hard to figure out how to say it properly.
It's like acid.
Well, apparently ACID stands for Active Command Intelligence Duel.
So replacing it with an exclamation mark doesn't make any sense in any situation.
Nope.
Awesome.
But yeah, so it's primarily single player. The first one, once you get to a certain point in the game, unlocks multiplayer, which is done through wireless ad hoc, and it has to be sort of in the same room. The second game, likewise, did local multiplayer where you had to be like in the same room with people, but it was unlocked from the beginning. Actually has a lot of cards that are made specifically for playing against other people. But the first game was more focused on single player. And the two games are direct sequels to each other. We'll be covering the second game later on, actually 2 episodes from now. However, they are a spin-off kind of parallel universe what if scenario.
So kind of like how Ghost Babel is not canon.
Yeah, so technically,
likewise.
Yeah, these aren't canon. However, Ghost Babel takes place as like a replacement for Shadow Moses. Metal Gear Acid doesn't mention any of the previous Metal Gear incidents, so I don't know.
But like all the cards reference.
Yeah, all the cards reference Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and Metal Gear 1 and 2, and they reference Zone of the Enders, Snatcher, and Police Knots. But none of the characters, like I don't think, like at least when I played through the 80% of the game that I played through, I don't recall there being a single moment when a character actually mentioned an incident or a character from any of the previous games. So I don't know if this is supposed to be just like Snake as an established character doing completely random shit and nobody, like it's not the same Snake. I don't know. I don't know how it fits in as like a parallel universe. But yeah, so, and before we get into the game proper, the game essentially takes place as a series of, it's almost as if like you took a tactical game like Final Fantasy Tactics, except all of the actions that you can take are based on cards that you draw. Yeah. And you can only have, I believe it's 6 cards in your hand at a time. It might be 7. I think it's 6. So you can only have 6 cards.
It's like if you took Final Fantasy Tactics and merged it with Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Yeah. And it kind of, to be completely honest, it almost feels more akin to something like XCOM than Final Fantasy. I guess because there's shooting and like taking cover and stuff like that. But it's almost like card game XCOM, if that makes sense. And other than that, the story unfolds through almost like a visual novel style thing, which I actually really enjoyed. So the way that the cutscenes take place, it's almost like talking portraits with backgrounds. And so it feels more like a dating sim or like Persona or something during the actual like story events. And then the game, and they're all 2D, and then the game is all 3D, which when the game was announced, everybody was like, oh shit, like we're getting like a portable console Metal Gear experience. However, it was not the case. But yeah, so other than that, between missions, you go to a intermission screen, and the intermission lets you organize your deck. You start out only being able to have 30 cards in a deck. However, they upgrade that to 35 after a certain point in the game. And then you actually get a party member. You get a second person that you can control. And so you have to manage both decks because they're independent of one another. You can also go to the card shop and buy booster packs from specific games in the series or buy single cards. And the way that the card shop works is between certain points of the game. I'm not even kidding, Sam. This is fucking bananas the way that it worked. They have advertisements in the game with a goofy voiceover and everything, and like really shitty like Tim and Eric like graphics. That's just like, go on down to your local card shop and pick up the Metal Gear Solid 2 pack available now. Like, it's really weird. Like, I feel like they could have done it a little bit better, but other than the immersion breaking
wonderful
card game ads, yeah, it's good.
You just in intermission, you just watch an episode of Tim and Eric, and that's
yeah. It has really good music. I believe that actually, never mind. None of the composers are from other Metal Gear games. I don't think the composers listed are Nobuku Toda, Shuichi Kobori, and Akihiro Honda. And none of their names are jumping off the page at me, so I don't know if
you really just need to like send me the list of Japanese names, because I'm just gonna say them and pretend I know what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
With reckless abandon.
Okay.
you tiptoe around the pronunciations. Akihiro Nobu and I'm like, nah, Akihiro Nobunaga, bitch.
Nobunaga. I was about to say Nobunaga. Well, and this is interesting too. So if you're hearing this, it's too fucking late and you can't send in your submissions. However, if you do want to send something in later, we will still read it. I actually recently discovered that in 2008, a mobile version for mobile phones was actually released in Europe. So you could play Metal Gear Acid on your smartphone in 2008, only in Europe. So
and only in 2008.
Yeah, so I'd be interested. I'd be interested to see if any of our European listeners played it on mobile phone as opposed to the PlayStation Portable. The horrible thing here, guys, is I wish I could say go out and buy it because it's a great game, but you can't fucking get it on the online store, and you can't fucking get it on the Vita, and you pretty much can't get it unless you have a physical PSP and the UMD, which I went out and bought for the show because I really wanted to play these games. But yeah, so hard recommendation because I don't recommend anybody spend $200 on stuff just to play Metal Gear Acid.
If you already have a PSP, try and find the UMD if you can.
Yeah, for sure. I would recommend it. It's not a bad game, it's not a great game, but it's definitely a fun game, and it's worth playing if you like Metal Gear.
So can we kind of talk about the plot a little bit, because I'm gonna hit a hard skirt and just tell people who are interested in the plot of the game and who actually want to play it to kind of like take their earbuds out or change to a different episode or listen to something else for a second, because I need to talk about how fucking ridiculous this shit is.
Well, and that being said too, I think even if we talk about it, people should go through and play it, because the game, the plot articulates in a fun way, and I think, at least for me, the motivating factor was kind of figuring out what the fuck was going to happen with the plot. But at the same time, like, if you like tactical turn-based stuff, you could literally not pay attention to the plot at all and still have fun.
Mm-hmm. So, like, okay, so the game starts out, as far as I'm aware, on an airplane. Mm-hmm. And this guy, he's a senator, but he's pretty much a shoo-in to be the next president. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, is on the plane. And it gets taken over by two dolls.
Yeah, they're like
puppets. Who are, they're controlling it with toxic gas.
I can't remember their names.
I can't either.
I
have
like
them
Francis and Elsa or something.
Something like that. But they essentially they want this thing called Pythagoras. Mm-hmm. And they want control of it, but it's in South America, so they get Snake out of retirement again, because he's always in retirement, and they always get him out of retirement to go to this facility.
Because retirement for Snake is living in a cabin in the like icy winter,
the mountains of Alaska,
and doing fuck all knows anybody.
Mountain
what
climbing.
Does he do? Does he
mountain
just
climbing.
masturbate all day? Like,
he masturbates and climbs mountains, according to the end of the game, which we'll get into.
He also mushes dogs.
Yeah,
so says MGS1.
Yep. But so Snake has to go to this facility to get Pythagoras. And then like he comes across these two people, and one of them's named like Teliko is her name.
Teliko. It's like Teliko.
Yeah, Teliko, and then some dude named Greg.
Oh yeah, Greg turns out to be an imposter though.
Yeah, Greg is like a key character. So you find out that
Professor Greg.
Yeah, Professor Greg. And then they're like going through the thing, and then Greg disappears for some reason, and you gotta like go across like this bridge a bunch of times.
Yeah,
or something. And then you find out that Pythagoras is just another Metal Gear, Metal Gear Kodok.
Yeah, it's like
it's like KODOQUE or something weird like that.
Yeah, well, and the shitty thing too, so there's no voiceover in the game, which, to be completely honest, I feel like the game could have benefited from voiceover. Also, pro tip: go under options and turn the text speed up to fast. Because, and this sucks, some of the card missions, you can press start to skip the cutscene at the beginning if you fail, but a lot of the card missions, especially towards the end, get really fucking difficult, and you can skip the first cutscene, but once the mission starts, you can't skip cutscenes that happen during the mission. And so if you have it on regular speed, it's gonna be like really fucking miserable to sit there and wait for people to finish talking. So just crank that shit on high. You have to read it before you can hit circle to progress the text. So I would just put it on high and just fucking do it like that, or else you're gonna have a really miserable time.
That is archaic and terrible.
Yeah. It's just real
the old way of doing things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're going through with Teliko, and you find out these two guys like Fleming, his name is, and what was the other guy's name?
Hans Davis, is it?
Yeah, Fleming and Davis. They were the two scientists that were working on the new Metal Gear, and then you find out that Greg is actually
Fleming.
Yeah. And
then you find out that Solid Snake is the scientist that created Metal Gear.
Yeah, no, there's some dude named Leon.
Well, Leon is like, so while you are going through this research facility to find Pythagoras, the thing that ended up throwing a wrench in it is that the facility is under attack by terrorists who are also trying to find Pythagoras. And the terrorists are being led by this dude named Leon, who is fucking huge. He's like almost 7 feet and just gigantic, and has a huge fucking gun. And somehow him and Snake end up becoming best friends towards the end of the game, but he's like your primary bad guy for like the first third of the game.
Yeah. So he's finding him, and then like he's trying to fight Snake because Snake looks like Davis.
Because Snake is an evil man, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. And then you find out that Snake has been like, Davis was like memory conditioned to become Solid Snake. And he's actually the mastermind behind Metal Gear Kodok. And you're just like, what the fuck?
On top of a huge thing, which is you find out that Solid Snake was experimenting on children.
Yeah.
With like viruses and like mental torture and shit.
Yeah.
And that like 2 children escaped. One of them died and lives on in spirit form. And one of them is still alive and escaped, and is actually the one causing the terrorist attack on the plane. Yeah. That is happening concurrent to Snake going and infiltrating the base.
Yeah, because the stuff that's happening on the plane is being controlled by somebody called Number 16. And then like you find out later on that like Number 16 is this chick named Alice, who's one of your contacts during the mission.
Who's a psychic?
Yeah, she's a psychic, and you knew she was a psychic from the beginning.
Yeah.
But she could see into the future just like a short amount.
Yeah. Also, your handler for the mission is not Roy Campbell. He's a guy called Roger.
Yeah.
And the thing that sucks about that is Snake can no longer say Roger whenever he hangs up. He has to say right or okay or I get it. And it's just like you can tell that they wanted to say Roger, but they can't say Roger because his fucking name is Roger.
Roger.
But yeah. Also, all the artwork for the characters looks really cool. Like Snake's portrait, whenever he's in the codec calls, actually is like some of the cooler Snake art like I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a cool looking game, and the art's fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's just fucking batshit.
Yeah, the plot. Well, I will say this too. There's enough kind of mystery to the plot because I know at some point Toliko ends up being like an assassin.
Yeah, it's like an assassin named like LeClown or something like that.
Yeah, and you end up playing on like this crazy map on a board game. Yeah, where you're being held hostage.
No. So Toliko, the one that you're with, ends up being this assassin named LeClown or whatever. And then the real Toliko shows up, and then you go into this weird like board game level, and Toliko and Snake are being forced by LeClown to fight to the death, and then they don't fight to the death. They like figure something out or something like that, and then they kill LeClown,
who creates a bunch of copies of herself.
Yeah,
using like hypnosis.
Yeah,
it's really weird. Like, but I will say it's really weird when we say it out loud like this. But when you play the game, the way that they, I mean, it still doesn't make any fucking sense. But the way that they like ease it on. Is it's like every stage there's like a little mini mystery and it's like, oh man, like what the fuck's going on? I want to figure it out. And so the game does a good job of like leading you forward through kind of presenting this like what if, like, well, what's going on? And it's just enough for you to be like, well, I kind of want to know what's going on. And so you do have like a pretty decent motivation kind of guiding you through the game. Albeit once you get towards the end of the game, everything kind of gets exposed and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah. Because like, so after LeClown dies, like you go on to confront Fleming, who's in Metal Gear Cadoc or something like that. And then some shit happens and then you kill Fleming, I think.
Yeah. Toliko kills Fleming.
Yeah. Toliko kills Fleming and then.
Because he killed her father.
Yeah, that's right. And then,
or LeClown killed her father. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah. And then like a lot of other stuff happens, and then like Alice calls you, who Alice that we talked about. This Alice is number 16, and then Alice like dies, because of Fox Die.
Well, no, so this is really weird too, and they don't explain it. At least I don't think so. When Metal Gear gets destroyed, so Alice has the ability to manipulate people by controlling their thoughts.
Yeah.
And she's able to fuck with Snake because during the mission, Snake's having like really weird, like Cloud Strife-esque panic attacks, where he starts to freak out and then like sees this doppelganger of himself who's Hans. And they have these conversations about like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I'm Snake. And he's like, no, I'm the real Snake. You're just a decoy or blah, blah, blah. And everybody else on the mission is like, Snake's losing his goddamn mind. But Alice who's kind of taking control of people. And for whatever reason, when Metal Gear dies, Alice has all of the pain and memories of all of the people who she's controlled, like rush her at once.
Okay.
And she dies from like the overwhelming wave of like all of these people's anguish and sorrow, like coming back to her all at once.
Okay.
I don't know why Metal Gear has anything to do with that, but
they got nanomachines.
Yeah, because Matt Campbell said so.
Yeah, Matt Campbell. Fuck it.
I really wish at the end Matt Campbell was like the big boss at the end of the game. He's like, I've been pulling the strings the whole time, Snake.
I've been meaning to tell you, and I wanted to keep it a secret, but that's the secret ending of Metal Gear Solid 5.
God damn.
Sorry, he's the one who's been doing it all.
And for everybody who is not aware, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5 very slowly, and I'm still not done with
it. But yeah, so like Alice was controlling two people on the plane, and like the one person who was controlling the puppets was the senator's assistant, and then like
who's actually number 106.
Yeah,
as well.
And then like who was the other
person?
Oh,
no. So the other person is 106 pretending to be a little girl.
Okay.
Because whenever I mentioned that 2 of the test subjects got away and one of them died and is in spirit form, that's 106. And so 106 like possessed Fleming's daughter, I think.
Okay.
And then used Fleming's daughter to take back the plane from the terrorists.
Yeah, because she kills the assistant.
Yeah, the senator's assistant is trying to get revenge on the senator because the senator is involved in all the child experiments.
Okay.
And and she's the one who's controlling the puppets.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why. Yeah. So
Fuck it.
but that's pretty much the plot, and then it ends with
it ends like Snake. That's why I said so. Snake invites like Chaliko to come back to Alaska and go mountain climbing with him.
Oh, of course he does.
And then like he winds up like unconscious on the beach or something like that.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah, that's like some secret ending shit.
Oh shit. Is he naked?
Probably. But it's like the lead in to Acid 2.
Yeah, I don't know if Taliko is the female partner in 2.
No, it's like some chick named like Vixen or something like that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't started playing 2 yet, but I hear it's shorter than 1, so I'm hoping I can finish it before next week. But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it.
That shit sounded like a fucking snake tail.
It
TBH, to be honest.
It ends with the same cutscene that it opens with, which is like the president, the secretary of defense, and the prime minister of some country, and 2 other people like talking in a meeting. And at the beginning, they're talking about something that you don't know anything about, and it turns out to be the plane situation. And then at the end, they say that they have to take some drastic measures, but then they don't say what it is. So I wonder if it's going to be like addressed in 2.
Oh, fuck if I know, dude. Venus. Her name's Venus.
Venus. There we go. I will say this as well. If you want to play through the game and have a ton of fun, Konami actually made public a bunch of codes to get special cards within the game.
Ooh.
And there's like 8 different codes you can type in, and it gives you like a couple cards from Zone of the Enders, like Vic Viper and Jehuty.
Vic Viper.
I know, dude. But
I've heard the name Vic Viper in many moons.
But it also gives you a gun called the XM8, which is fucking amazing. Like, it's ridiculous how easy the game becomes once you have this thing. Like, I literally got stuck on a boss for like 10 tries, and then I had this gun pop up in my hand and just fucking wrecked shop, dude. Like, it's a gun that shoots like tremendous amounts of shots, but it also inflicts status ailments every time it hits. So you not only are you hitting them a bunch and you're hitting them for high damage, but every time you hit them, they get like bleed or burn, or they get knocked down, or they faint. And it's just like ridiculous. And you can use the gun like multiple times if it's not like initiated as a counter attack. So it's nuts. So if you want to play the game on kind of like an easier mode, if you just want to get through it, definitely get the XM8. The other weird cards is that it lets you unlock a whole bunch of Konami Japanese female model cards. And the only thing that the card does if you use it is it says that in male users it initiates severe bleeding. And
from the nose, perhaps.
Yeah, so you just get bleed affected on you if you use
Jesus.
them. But there's a lot of fun cards, and they also have a lot of flavor text. So like if you look at the card details, it'll have like one-liners from the characters and stuff. But Gurlugon is a card. And
is Genola a card?
Yeah.
God damn.
And they both, when you use it, actually like paralyzes everybody on the board. Like in fear, I guess.
Awesome.
The Roy Campbell card lets you call in like an airstrike for some fucking reason.
Fuck it.
There's a Solid
Roy
Snake.
Campbell's never called an airstrike in his fucking life.
Yeah, he actually tried to actively stop an airstrike in MGS1. So I don't know if it's like a sick joke or. But there's some good stuff. Yeah, just a bunch of random like Otacon card and that lets you break armor when you shoot. There's a Sniper Wolf that lets you shoot from across the map.
Ooh.
There's a Cyborg Ninja card that will just like randomly attack an enemy on the map with an
Do you get
ninja
mind
blade.
stare? If you
There's
get
a
the
mind
Cyborg
detector.
Ninja card.
There's a mine detector, and you can
need
plant
to
mines.
You need to use the mine detector. There's mines there.
There's an Olga card, but there's not a cyborg Olga card.
Oh, god damn it.
But yeah, it's fun. I don't know if you, like. I really like card games a lot. So if you like card games and you like Metal Gear, fucking give it a shot. If you don't like card games and you do like Metal Gear, give it a shot.
If you don't like card games or Metal Gear, what the fuck are you doing listening to this podcast? You have to like at least that second one.
Yeah, come on, Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. I'm still caught up on fucking Vic Viper.
Dude, it's
God
pretty
damn
cool.
it. God damn it, Leo Steinbuck.
The card's actually not that good, which sucks, but he's a good character.
Wasn't that like from Gradius originally? Vic Viper?
Yeah, Vic Viper's the name of the ship from Gradius.
That's it. Not even the person piloting the ship. No, yeah. It's the name of the ship, just like the orbital frame's name is Vic Viper.
Yep. It's pretty cool.
God, I love it.
We actually do need to talk about it, Zone of the Enders 2 at some point.
Yeah, we do. Because we only talked about the first one, didn't we?
Yeah, we only talked about the first one, and I actually have not had an excuse to beat the second one. So this might be a good excuse to do that.
See, this is where we separate, because I've never beaten the first one.
Oh, dude, you can beat the first one in like 5 hours.
Well, I know, but I've never beaten it. I remember beating the second one and being like, what up? I'm awesome.
I got really far in the second one. I will say, no matter what difficulty you play on in Zone of the Enders 2, the Vic Viper fight is so goddamn hard. Like, once you get to the surface of Mars, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Sweet. Well, we're getting too inside baseball for Zone of the Enders 2 right now. My bad.
Vic Viper.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's not a lot of bonus content, if any. You can replay missions, and you can replay, I think, specifically if you replay mission 2, which is the office building, it will give you random objectives every time you go, so you can kind of have infinite missions. And then you can use those points to buy cards. So if you just want to get all the cards, you can just keep replaying missions and buying card packs. I don't think it lets you continue the game once you beat it. So once you beat it, you're done. And yeah, if we fucked anything up, if somebody wants to write in at all and tell us anything about Metal Gear Acid, I'll take it.
Anything.
Yeah, like anything at all.
Just like even if you don't know if we fucked up and you just want to say some shit, if you just want to spit some sweet sugar about like acid, just like send those motherfuckers up in here.
Yeah, dude, send us your stories about dropping acid and then playing Metal Gear. Because I'll read that too. I don't care.
I'll read that shit. We'll send it. You can send it to our emails or our Facebook or anything.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, before we get into admin stuff and plugging holes with things to go check out.
No.
I want to announce some cool stuff. So, we have a guest lined up for Metal Gear Solid 3's first episode.
Yeah, Mr.
It's like this is like a good guest. This is like on my list guest. So yeah, Sam, if you want to announce who it is.
Mr. Cole Ross from duckfeed.tv, from podcasts such as Abject Suffering and The Level and Bonfireside Chats, which is kind of what we've modeled this podcast over. We are very excited to have him on. Mm-hmm. We had the pleasure of meeting him a couple months ago at the Ohio Game Dev Expo, and he is a wonderful man who will hopefully be able to regale us with fascinating tales about Metal Gear Solid 3 and his love of the series.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And likewise, he's another Ohioan.
Ohioan?
Yeah,
you want to try that again?
Ohioan. Ohio.
Jesus Christ. Ohio des Metal Gear.
Yeah, so he's going to be in Sam's neck of the woods. And besides that, we've actually locked down another guest who is a listener of the show, and we're super excited. Good old Zach. I will withhold his last name until he's actually on the show and can tell us in confidence his own last name, because I don't want to give any non-public figures full names out there. But yeah, so good old Zach D, that is all I will say, is going to be on the show. We're really excited. He's going to be podcasting with us from New York. And likewise, I know that we have a couple of guests that have yet to confirm, and we're still waiting to hear back. You know who you are. And we'll send some emails out as well to follow up with people.
I think that they've actually confirmed, but we need to remind them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we're waiting on audio from one of them.
Yes. You know who you are. You
know
who you are.
Yep.
TJ. Calling you out.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, we actually still need 2 guests for the MGS3 season. So if you guys know anybody, we're actually not going to have a guest on the wrap-up episode intentionally, so that we can just kind of do that on our own.
Decompress.
Yeah. And likewise too, definitely write in some stuff if you have questions for the guests, but just know that their time is valuable and they can choose to not be on the extra episodes. So hopefully, our guests want to stick around for the extra episodes. If not though, we completely understand. And yeah, so we're really excited for that. Before we get to the next season, however, we are going to be doing an extra-sode, a side op on Acid, Metal Gear Acid
2.
And
this is a side up for a side up of this episode.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Sorry, but we're gonna be doing a side up of this one, which might just turn into bonus scenes,
which I've been fucking waiting for like the last 2 months.
That's a good thing, guys. Make Sam wait longer.
Nah, fuck it. Sorry, I'm very. I've crafted an identity of a brazen and a very angry person.
Just for the show. Sam's actually not like this at all, guys.
No, I'm not.
This show,
persona. And then I shoot myself in the head with a gun.
Persona. Sorry, that was my really bad Teddy impersonation.
No, it's pretty good actually. No, okay. I'm just like I've been wanting some fucking deleted scenes because we're funny as hell. I'm just gonna toot real quick. I just think they're funny. I'm okay. Maybe we're not funny as hell, but I think the things that we talk about that you guys don't hear in the episodes are funny, and we save that shit.
The execution is very funny.
Yeah, the execution,
or I guess the failure to execute.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna be doing the side up on this, and then Acid 2. And then we're going to be diving straight into the Virtuous Mission with Cole Ross.
Mr. Cole Ross.
And then we will be trekking through MGS3. So go ahead and get those keyboards ready to send us your stories on MGS3. We shared some photos from a listener, actually from Zach D, on Facebook earlier today of his mint condition Japanese demo of Metal Gear Online. So if you guys have any cool nifty collectibles or anything like that, Baku. If you have any nifty collectibles, shoot us some pictures and tell us about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so other than that, I will probably include some Metal Gear Acid videos in the show notes. There was actually one thing in particular I wanted to include a video of, and I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. But yeah, so you got to check out some of this stuff just to get an idea for it. Obviously, we'll be cutting in Metal Gear Acid music in this episode. And I think that's about it. Sam, what can they do to support the show if they like listening to the show?
Well, I tell you what, if you really like listening to the show, you can go to the website geekti.me. That's where we have the rest of the show and all of our other shows. So you can check all those out there. You can also go on Facebook. You can either check out our Metal Gear page that we really, really want to get to 100 likes by the summer. So please, if you Facebook and you haven't liked the page yet, check that out. Send some stuff our way. We like to post nifty stuff on there. That's facebook.com/Metal Gear Mondays. The official Geek Time Facebook is Geek Time Pod, which is also the Twitter handle, Geek Time Pod. And it's also the SoundCloud handle where we also upload all of our shows. What else am I missing here?
Patreon?
Yeah, I was getting to it. I was trying to put an air of mystery into the air, and you ruined it.
Sorry.
But whatever. You can find out how to support the site if you want to chuck a couple bucks our way and help us out. Go to patreon.com/geektimepod. We've got some bonuses for people who are generous enough to donate. And that's going to help us make the site better. If you don't necessarily want to spend any extra money, but you happen to use Amazon, you can use our Amazon affiliate program, which you can find more information on at geekti.me/wp/donate. That has links to the different countries' Amazon stores. If you click that link before you buy stuff on Amazon, everything you buy, we get a kickback. We get a kickback that helps us get money to support the site and make the site better. And you don't have to spend any extra money. It's just what you were going to spend anyway. So that's a really good way to support us without having to worry about throwing up any extra cheddar.
Yeah, and it'll help us do things like buy games to cover for the show. It'll do things like let us travel to see each other for recordings, and it'll let us buy better equipment so that the show sounds better.
And like even on like a more behind the scenes level, it'll help pay for like hosting costs, and it'll help pay for our SoundCloud, because in order to upload like more than a certain amount of hours, you have to pay for the monthly subscription. So it'll help pay for that. Like we can legitimately make the site and the shows better with donations of any kind.
Yeah. So and I know it's super cliche, but like even $1 would help, because we have
seriously.
I mean, we have a fair amount of people who listen to the show, and I think if everybody contributed $1, like you guys would legitimately be able to tell almost immediately how it affects the show, because in having donations, we could 100% turn around and start other shows that are the same quality as this one. We could afford to be able to have everybody sounding better. We could immediately record extra episodes that maybe weren't originally a part of our recording schedule. There's just a lot of things. So, like, legitimately in this situation, you guys are able to make a difference, and you could literally do it overnight. So we can't underplay how valuable that is to us.
Grassroots.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say the word grassroots. I'm throwing my fist up in the air right now.
Well, and likewise, too, we don't have to plug your ears with audible.com ads. So, anyway, yeah, so that being
Which
said,
we're not above.
That's
if
true.
You guys don't, if you
we're going to
guys
extort you guys. We're going to threaten to put ads all over this son of a bitch unless you...
Have you tried Blue Apron? Let me tell you about Blue
Nature
Apron.
Box. Have you used Nature Box?
Nature Box is wonderful.
Yeah, Dollar Shave Club's pretty good too.
Yeah. Have you heard of Blue Apron?
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk about Blue Apron right now. I love it. It's like a service, and then like send you fresh ingredients and like detailed instruction cards on how to make dinners, and they send it to you like a certain amount of times a week, and they send you like for 4 people or for 2 people, and it's wonderful, and I love it. And I haven't used it recently because I didn't have the money for it, but
we could have the money.
We could have the
money. Can you guys put food in our bellies? Because we're starving. Anyway, that being said,
for pennies a day,
you could
feed a starving millennial.
You can feed a starving podcaster. Well, cool, guys. I'm gonna take my business hat and my ski mask off, and yeah, thanks, guys.
You're wearing a ski mask?
Yeah, that was for the extorting part.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, so Isaac is up to 18 followers. If anybody's counting on Twitter. I have a couple followers on Twitter that are from the show, so I appreciate that.
Me as well.
I'm trying to think of what else. I'm pretty sure we plugged everything.
Well, let's tell. So, Alessio, you're AC Summerfield on Twitter.
Yep.
I am Samwright DPS, and Isaac doesn't have a twit.
Yep. I can't believe that's real, but yep. And yeah, other than that, you can fuck it, if we're plugging personal stuff, you can go to vimeo.com/AC Summerfield and check out some of my films. And that's it.
And listen to May We Have a Word.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. So I want to start doing that at the end of every episode. If you like this and you like the shenanigans that me and Sam get into, or that Sam gets into alone, or with another friend, you should check out Toast. which is Sam's Mystery Science Theater 3000, except with anime show. And the latest episode on Beyblade is phenomenal. And you should definitely check it out because it's wonderful.
I can't remember what episode's coming out tomorrow. As you're hearing this, will be tomorrow. But it's a pretty good one too.
Yeah, so it's good. Likewise, the whole network's got really good shows. So definitely check out Geek Time in your podcast app, and it will pull up all of it. And yeah, that being said,
I'm gonna also. So technically, this would have happened yesterday as you're listening to this, but we have a new show too.
Oh yeah,
it's called,
and it's actually from a listener of this show.
Yeah, it's called Mad Bad Book Club. One of the hosts is Nikki Z in the place to be. Nikki Ziggy Stardust. Booyakasha!
Nick might actually be a guest on this show at some point.
But him and his friends, and they go by code names Taco and Mango. Which I love. They read terrible fan fiction. They've talked about creepypasta or generally terrible things on the internet. And it's a hoot
and holler.
It's a hoot and a holler. God, how did you know I was going to say hoot and a holler?
I don't know.
You're in my head. No, it is good, so check that out. It's going to be our Sunday show, but they have put out existing episodes, and we're essentially doing them twice in a week until they catch up to where they're at now. So check that out.
Yeah, and likewise, too, I will be making a triumphant return to the Geek Time podcast at some point. Somehow I've just dodged a bullet and not been on a single episode in a really long time.
Dodged a bullet, dude.
I say that like it's a bad thing. I'm sorry. I somehow didn't go to church this week. I don't even know what the metaphor should be. I forgot my shoe at home and didn't go. But I will be back, and it will be fun. So if you like me and Sam, and you like me and Sam with other people, you should check me and Sam out on another show
called the Geek Time
Podcast.
I can't stand you.
It's good. So technically, we should have Nick on that show now because it's the hosts from all the other Geek Time shows.
Technically.
So maybe we'll bring that in. Maybe if I can't be there, he can be there. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
We'll figure some things out.
But it's like a super group Geek Time podcast.
It's like the Avengers.
It's the Avengers
except
of Geek Time
way worse.
It's like the Avengers, but boring as fuck. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not boring.
It's not.
We have
it's just
arguments.
less explodey.
We have arguments about the value of Pitch Perfect.
Oh.
And we also, I mentioned it on this podcast, and I also mentioned it there. We talked about the fucking Golden Girls Funko Pops.
Oh, that's right.
On one of our most recent episodes.
Sweet. Well, yeah, that being said, sorry if this episode talked less about Metal Gear Acid than you would have liked, listener who didn't write in. But
should have wrote in.
Yeah, but A, you should have wrote in, and B, this is the Acid games I'm kind of treating as like a weird hybrid of micro and regular episode, where we just kind of talk about the game for a little bit and just kind of talk about other shit for the last half. So yeah, it's all Metal Gear related. Hoorah! And Sam, what should people not forget to do?
Well, they should definitely never forget that Nelly Furtado's first album was called Whoa, Nelly.
Definitely. I'm never going to forget that now, especially for bar trivia.
I'm like a bird.
I'm like a box. It's just a box.
Just a box.